Yuhuntah pravishyamapacham mam prasuptam sanjeevayattikhilashaktidarasvadhamna Anyanscha hastacharana shravanattvakadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam Yam gurum hisvayam satyaha prajna bhakti vinitayaha deeptischa vivrata nityam tam gurum pranamamyaham Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya madhyamam Asmadacharya paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, so we will start with the chanting of the first verse. Kalabhyam Chodalankruta Shashikalabhyam Nijatapah Phalabhyam Bhakteshu Prakatita Kalabhyam Bhavatu me Shivabhyam Astokatribhuvana Shivabhyam Hridi Punaha Bhavabhyam Anandaspuradhanubhavabhyam Ladhiyam. So we saw the meaning of this verse and also mentioned that this verse is an exceptional verse which has plenty of yamaka, example of yamaka, one of the shabdalankaras. So in this verse, Bhagavatpada offers his veneration to both Shiva and Parvati. Shivabhyam yam natihi. So this is what he says. In fact, towards the end of the class, someone was asking, so why he used the word punaha? There are two ways to see this. I'll just tell you. Hridi punar bhavabhyam. So depending upon where you use the word punaha, you can interpret in two ways. In fact, one meaning which I gave in the end of the last class. So one is punaha hridi bhavabhyam. Punaha can be used in the normal sense of again. Again means there are various descriptions that are available, and again you can conceive them to be so. Okay? Again you can conceive them to be so. This is one meaning. Hridi punaha bhavabhyam, suppose you say, then indeed see punaha hridi bhavabhyam, hridi punaha bhavabhyam. Depending upon where you put the word punaha and stress, you will get slightly different shades of meaning. So this is what I wanted to say. Yesterday I was explaining that in the discussion session. Okay, punaha hridyapekshayatu is one of the sutras that we find even in Brahma Sutra. Anyway, so now we will move on to the second verse. Galanti Shambho Tvacharita Saritaha Galanti Shambho Tvacharita Saritaha Galanti Shambho Tvacharita Saritaha Kilbisharajaha 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 Dalanti Dhikulya Galanti Dhikutulya Galanti Dhikutulya Saranishu Patanti Vijayatam Saranishu Patanti Vijayatam Saranishu Patanti Vijayatam Dishanti Samsara Brahmana Paritapopashamanam Dishanti samsara bhramana paritapopashamanam Dishanti samsara bhramana paritapopashamanam Vasanti maccheto hridabhuvi Sivanandalahari Vasanti maccheto hridabhuvi Sivanandalahari vasanti macchedo hradabhuvi Sivanandalahari. Yesha Sivanandalahari macchedo hradabhuvi vasanti. Here again you find plenty of prasa. This cannot be considered as yamaka, but there is prasa because you see dalanti, galanti, vasanti, etc. These are all repeatedly same sounds are appearing. He Shambho Tvacharita Saritaha. He Shambho. This is the addressing word. Tvacharita Saritaha. Charita Saritaha. So this is a kind of a rupaka that he makes. So Charita Saritaha. Sarit is basically something which flows. So this can be conceived as the river. So here what is conceived as the flow of water is Tvacharita Saritaha. So various stories that are associated with you. So Tvacharita Saritaha Galanti. Galati means it can refer to some small flow, it can refer to something which is falling down and so on. There are slightly different shades of meaning. Now this river in the form of your own stories, your own glories, so they are conceived to be flowing down, and this creates a certain lahari. So this is Sivanandalahari. So the Sivanandalahari, so we saw the meaning of this yesterday. So here he is saying Maccheto Hridabhuvi Sivanandalahari. Maccheto Hridabhuvi Sivanandalahari. So here again there is a certain rupaka that he makes. So Hrada means lake. Hrada means lake. Maccheto Hradabhuvi. So if you say, so my own mind, so it is conceived to be the lake. And in that, so what is residing is Sivanandalahari. So this particular text is referred here. And how does he describe? This is something which is very beautiful. The description that he gives is Kilbisharajaha Dalanti. As the water flows in the river, you can see that it will clear off all the dirt. So even if you put a lump of sand, so once the water starts flowing, so within a few minutes you will be able to see that all the dust would have been carried away, and what settles is some nice fine sand. Kilbisharajaha Dalanti. So Kilbisharajaha. Kilbishameva Rajaha. Kilbisharajaha. Kilbisha means papa. So the papa, that asat samskaras that I have are in the form of dirt in my mind. And the dirt in my mind is something which has to be washed away by the flow of Tvacharita Saritaha. It just splits and takes away. See, what is interesting is, in our own buddhi, we have sat as well as asat bhavanas. Both bhavanas are there. These asat bhavanas are essentially responsible for unwanted thinking, which actually pains us. Okay? So we should just get rid of them. So that is all because of papa. Okay? So this papa, which is in the form of dirt, has to be removed. So he says, once your story and your glory keeps recurring in my own mind, this is like a flow, and this flow removes away all the kilbisha. Kilbisharajaha Dalanti. Dalanti. Dalati means normally splits. So what is happening is, so there is a certain lump which is there. and in the lump, so this Kilbisha Rajaha has to be washed away by this water. This is the conception that he has. Huh? Lamp is just matter. Okay, you just put a clay, so one bunch of soil. So then what remains is fine, nice particles will remain. Dalanti Shambho Tvacharita Sarita Dalanti Shambho Tvacharita Saritaha Kilbisha Rajaha Dalanti. So all these are Shadra Pratyayanta. Okay. So happening, this is happening, that is happening, one by one he describes a few things that are happening. Kilbisha Rajaha Dalanti. Then Dhikulya Saranishu Patanti Vijayatam. Dhihi eva kulya dhikulya. Kulya means a small stream. What is called kulya. Okay. Even the streams which are taking water to various fields, they will be called as kulya. Okay. Small streams, small channels. Small channels which carry water. Now you can think of your own buddhi having a variety of channels. So Dhikulya Saranishu Margeshu. Okay. So Dhikulya Saranishu. So there are various aspects to our buddhi. So it is moving in multiple directions, in all the directions. So let this flow. Dhikulya Saranishu Patanti Vijayatam. So may this big stream, okay, so river, split into the various channels into my own mind, and thereby wash away the dirt that are there in various places. So mind has various aspects, right? So in various channels it has to go, and all the channels have to be cleared off from the dirt. So that is what he prays for. And he says if this is happening, Galanti Shambho Tvacharita Saritaha Kilbisha Rajaha Dalanti Dhikulya. You are saying no, antibiotic will kill all the bacteria. Only those bacteria cannot be killed. But here, this Charita Saritaha, only Kilbisha will be taken away. See. Lalanti Dhikulya Saranishu Patanti Vijayatam. So then in the third quarter he says, what is the consequence of this? The consequence of getting rid of this dirt from my mind. Dishanti Samsara Brahmana Paritapo Pashamanam. It gives the direction now. It gives the direction for what? Samsara Brahmana Paritapopashamanam. Samsare Brahmanena Yaha Paritapaha Jayate. Samsare Brahmanena. Samsare Brahmanena. You can take the samsara to be this world. You can also take the samsara to be the continuous cycles of birth and death. You can take the samsara to be Sukha Dukha Anubhava. Whatever it is somewhat tiring to me. Samsara Brahmana Paritapaha. As a result, I am unable to enjoy the tranquility in my mind. Therefore, he says, Samsara Brahmana Paritapasya Upashamanam. So, because of that, this person gets heated. And as a result, the heat also bloods out in some times. So here, that's why Radhabhuvi Sivanandalahari. So this Papa is always nullified by water. So this water in the form of Charitra, so by entering into the various channels of my own buddhi and taking away all the dirt that has been accumulated by me over decades, may it provide a certain clarity in thinking, as a result of which what happens is you are able to perceive things with the right perspective. See, ultimately, a right perspective has to be developed in viewing things. See, many a times it just happens, you, because of your own mala, superimpose mala in others' activity. Right? Our own mala basically mirrors. So, and thereby you trouble yourself. So, therefore, he says, let all the mala be washed away by singing the glory of your charitra, and thereby samsara bhramana paritapopashamanam. Okay. Samsara bhramanena yaha paritapaha jayate. In fact, there are some people who have told me, okay, so it just happens that only after 60, 65 you get into this line of thinking, and then they feel what a pleasure it is. So to engage in this kind of studies. So they have said, very janma vrtha much. This is a beautiful word in Sanskrit. So vrtha, I have just wasted my life. This is what they feel so. So dishanti samsara bhramana paritapo upashamanam, paritapasya upashamanam. Vasanti. So vasanti means by dwelling in the pond of my heart, may the heat that is generated by various activities which I have engaged in this samsara be removed by this Sivanandalahari. So this is a beautiful verse. Galanti Shambho Tvacharita Saritaha Kilbishajaha Dalanti Jikulya Saranishu Patanti Vijayatam Vishanti Samsara Bhramana Paritapo Pashamanam Vasanti Macchedo Hradabhudi Sivanandalahari. So the word Vishanti means providing the right direction. That is how you have to understand the word. Okay? So what happens is we need to understand that the wrong thinking which has been there is corrected by sattvika bhavana that gets generated in our mind. So that is provided by these kind of stotras and engaging ourselves in sadbhavana, okay, instead of asadbhavana. Okay, now we move on to the third verse. Third verse is Traivedyam Hridyam Traivedyam Hridyam Traivedyam Hridyam Tripurahara Madhyam Trinayanam Tripurahara Madhyam Trinayanam Tripurahara Madhyam Trinayanam Jata Bharodaram Jata Bharodaram Jata Bharodaram Chaladuragaharam Mrigadharam Chaladuragaharam Mrigadharam Chaladuragaharam Mrigadharam Mahadevam Devam Mahadevam Devam Mahadevam Devam Maisadaya Bhavam Pashupatim Maisadaya Bhavam Pashupatim Maisadaya Bhavam Pashupatim Chidalambam Sambam Chidalambam Sambam Chidalambam Sambam Shivamati Vidambam Hridi Bhaje Shivamati Vidambam Hridi Bhaje Shivamati Vidambam Hridi Bhaje. So these verses itself would have been sufficient for you to convince yourself that Bhagavad Pada, when he wants to play with Shabda Alankara, he can do it. Bhashya also, someplace you can see there is a plenty of Sabda Alankara you find in all these verses. Traivedyam hridyam tripurahara madhyam trinayanam. All of the words end with ja, ja, ja. Traivedyam. There are several descriptions that are given in this verse. Aham sambam hridi bhaje. Aham mahadevam hridi bhaje. So any of the word can be taken. Now these are basically descriptions of the virtues that he finds in Parameshwara. Traivedyam is the first epithet that is used. Vedya means something to be known, understood. Okay. That which is to be known or understood is called Vedya. Okay. In fact, we had this usage. Veditavya, Vedya, both are same. Okay. Traivedyam. Trai means, normally it is taken as Veda. But what one has to understand is, it refers to the class of mantras that are found. Otherwise, people may have this doubt. Why only 3? There are 4 Vedas. Okay. So it does not actually refer to the Rig-Yajus Sama alone. But what one has to understand is not the Veda per se, okay, but the class of mantras. The class of mantras are called Ring mantras, Yajur mantras and Sama mantras. So the third variety is something which is being sung. Okay. So one which is Chandobadha, the other is not that kind of Chandobadha. So that is how the broad classification is. And therefore all mantras will fall into one of them. So Traivedyam means the true nature of Ishvara can be understood only through the revelations that are found in Vedas. Okay. Traivedyam. So this I am Atma Nityaha. So it is not something which can be understood by us without the help of these scriptures. Therefore, he is described as Traivedyam. The next phrase is Hridyam. Hridyam. Hridyam is a beautiful phrase in Sanskrit. To express that it is something which is really appealing to my heart. That which is really appealing to my heart is what is called Hridyam. This Hridyam is explained through a certain sutra. We will tell that sutra since there are students who are very keen to learn. Hridayasya Hrilekhayadandlaseshu 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 Repeat. Okay. Hridayasya is the word Hridaya. Tasya Adeshaha bhavati. So it just gets replaced. Okay? Gets replaced with Hrit. Hridayasya Hrit. When, so he gives a list of certain suffixes when they are added to that. So what are they? Lekha is one thing, Yat is another thing, then An is another thing, and Lasa another thing. So these are 4 different things which are added when Hridaya. This Hridaya simply becomes Hrit and then they get tagged to it. Now here Hridya is, so So it simply is Hridyat. So Hridaya, this is what happens. But when does it happen? To indicate what? Okay. I'll give you the examples. Okay. Hridayam likhatiti hrilekhaha. Hridayam likhatiti hrilekhaha means the one who is able to captivate your heart in his writing. So he can be described as. Then Hridyam is Yat Hridayasya Priyam Bhavati Tat Hridyam. Okay. Hridayasya Yat Priyam, that has to be understood. Okay. Tat Hridyam. In fact, there is one verse. Hridyam Vedanta Vidyam Hridaya Sarasije Deeptamudhyat Prakasham. I will not get into that now. So we will just say Hridyam is something is very, very dear. Then Anpratyaya. This is also normally encountered. The Anpratyaya, what will happen? Adivriddhi. So the Hardam will be the use. Okay. Hardam Prema. Suppose you say. So usually hearty congratulations. So this Hardam means essentially the hearty. So Hardam. So Hardam Prema. Then we have Lasaha. Hridayasya Lasaha, Hrillasaha. So Hrillasaha essentially means, Lasaha is basically play, Nritya. Okay, the play of the heart. So Hrillasaha. So these are the different usages. So that's how the sutra has been written by Panini to explain these four formations. Hridyam, Traivedyam, Hridyam. Then we have Tripuraharam, Adyam, Trinayanam. Tripuraharam, Adyam. Tripuraharam, Adyam. They are two different things. This Tripuraharam has to do with a certain story. So there was a person called Maya. This Mayasura is supposed to have created three patana. Okay, so there are three puras. One is supposed to be Hiranya, the other is made of Veditha. There is a description even in Veda. There are further descriptions in Purana in great detail. So the Tarakasura, and there are three asuras. Vidyunmali is another fellow. So these three asuras, so the story goes like this: they were so blessed with a certain power that they can take this Pura and go anywhere, and then they can exhibit their power and so on and so forth. They were giving a lot of problems to people. And the boon also says, only Parameshwara, if he can shoot an arrow which can pass through all the three Puras, so then they will be perished. Something like that is the story. So this Tripurahara Samhara. Okay. So Tripurahara Samhara Murti, somewhere they will say. Okay. So this is so this Murti also will be something like having an arrow and then shooting, it will just pass through. This is how the description goes. This has been graphically portrayed by a poet called Bhattanarayana. I will give you one verse. This is a beautiful verse, so it is to be learnt. So therefore, before explaining the further epithets in this, so this Tripura, so how it has been beautifully portrayed by the poet is to be understood. I will tell the verse, you repeat. Drishtasya prema devya, Drishtasya prema devya, Drishtasya prema devya, Kimidamiti bhayat, किमिदमिति भयात् किमिदमिति भयात् सम्भ्रमाच्चासुरीभिः 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 शान्तान्तस्तत्त्वसारैः 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 सकरुणमृषिभिः 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 विष्णुना सस्मितेन विष्णुना सस्मितेन विष्णुना सस्मितेन आकृष्यास्त्रं सगर्वैः आकृष्यास्त्रं सगर्वैः आकृष्यास्त्रं सगर्वैः उपशमितवधू 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 सम्भ्रमैर्दैत्यवीरैः 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 सानन्दं देवताभिः सानन्दं देवताभिः सानन्दं देवताभिः मयपुरदहने 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 धुर्जटिः पातु युष्मान् धुर्जटिः पातु युष्मान् धुर्जटिः पातु युष्मान्. This is at the opening of a drama which is called Veni Samhara. Veni Samhara is supposed to have been authored sometime maybe 7th century, 6th century, we don't know, or 8th century, but definitely before 800, because this person who has authored this has been quoted by later people. It's a beautiful Nataka in its own right. There are some beautiful verses which I have read, beautiful dialogues which appear in this. I have seen this long back. So here, in this Veni Samhara, at the beginning, this is one of the Mangala Shlokas. So, Yushman Patu Saha Dhurjatihi. Okay. Dhurjatihi is the one who has matted hair. May he protect you. So, this is how the opening statement which is made before the drama commences. And there is a graphic description of what happened. See, how do we know that this describes this? Tripura Dahana? Mayapura Dahane. Mayapura Dahane means Mayena Nirmitam Yat Puram Tasya Dahane. In trying to burn this. Okay. Puras. So there the poet conceives how people, different sets of people visualize this in different ways. This is a beautiful example of what is called Ullekha Alankara. Ullekha Alankara. Bahubhir Bahudhollekha Ekasyollekha Ishyate Stribhih Kamurthibhih Swadruhu Kalas Shatrubhih Rekshisaha. This is the standard definition of Ullekha. I'll tell what this is. You can very easily understand what this Ullekha is. Drishtasya Prema Devya. Drishtaha means it was seen. It was seen. What was seen? See, Akrishyastram. Akrishyastram. Parameshwara so furiously has stretched his bow. There are various descriptions about even this bow and what are various things in this Tripura Lahana. So he has stretched this. So Saprema is with great love. Okay? Saprema. In fact, there is a beautiful verse. Saprema bhiti kamalakara pallavabhyam samvahane pi sapadiklamamagadhanu. Nice usage of Saprema. So Drishtaha Saprema. See, Saprema Devya. So she is wondering, why has he done this? Kimidamiti. What is this Vesha? Parameshwara is supposed to be Shanta Sarupi. So this Kimidamiti. See, here Raudra is one form. So, and if at all this Raudra form has been taken, why is it that he has taken this? Drishtas Saprema Devya Kimidamiti. Then Bhayat Sambhramacha Asuribhi. Now he is choosing another group. How do they view? The same act is viewed by different groups differently. So when such a description is found, it is called Ullekha. Bahubhihi Bahudha Ullekhat. Ekasya Ullekha Ishyate. Okay. So the standard example is Tribhihi Kamaha. So Krishna is described as embodiment of Kama itself. Okay. Arthibhihi Svardruhu means those who seek something from him. He is described as Kalpavriksha. Okay. Arthibhihi Svardruhu Kalaha Shatrubhihi. How does Kamsa view Krishna? Neither as Kama, nor as Svardru, but Kalaha. See, he is the slayer of me. So this is where you saw Ullekha. That's how here it is. Sambhramat Asuribhihi. Asuribhihi means so those who belong to the Asura, that group, Asuri, those threes. So they Sambhrama. So they are all terrified. Sambhramacha Asuribhihi. Then the same Shiva, how is he visualized? Shantantas Tattvasaraihi Sakarunam Rishibhihi. This goes as a qualifier to Rishi. So Rishis, there are two pathas which are available. Shantantas Tattvasaraihi, Shantantas Sattvasaraihi. So in one case you have to understand it as Tattvasara is so the essence of Veda, which is Upanishad. Those who have understood. Antaha means Antahkarana. So those whose Antahkarana are enjoying abundant peace by understanding the essence of Upanishad and the nature of Atman. Shantantas Tattvasarihi Sakarunam Rishibhi. Sakarunam means they have a certain soft heart for everybody. So they have committed this kind of a mistake and therefore they have to be punished. So they feel little compassionate even about this. Shantantas Tattvasari Sakarunam Rishibhi. That's how we feel, no? This fellow did not have committed this kind of a mistake. Now he is suffering. Right? That is how the Sattvokrishta Hridaya feels. Sakarunam Rishibhi Vishnuna Sasmitena. Sasmita means he is happily, see, with a glee. So he is just seeing, okay, these fellows are going to be finished now. Akrishyastram Sagarvaihi. There is one more class that he is describing now. Those fellows who are to be finished now, what are they doing? He says, Sagarvaihi Upashamita Vadhu Sambhramaihi Daityaviraihi. Daityaviraihi means, so the soldiers belonging to those Asuras, they are driven. And Daitya Viraha, what do they do? So they are consoling their own beloveds. We will go fight and finish this fellow. Right? Daitya Viraihi Upashamita Vadhu Sambhramaihi. Even in Ramayana you will find when Mandodari, so when Ravana sets forth for Buddha, or even Vali, so the Tara will tell. So then they will say, no, I will go and win the war. So they will try to console their wives before leaving. So here he is saying Upashamita Vadhu Sambramai. So they are worried. They say, no, don't worry. See, Daitya Viraihi Sagarvaihi. So all these Tatiya goes Drishtaha. Understand? So Daitya Viraihi evam Drishtaha, Asuribhihi evam Drishtaha, Vishnuna evam Drishtaha. Then finally he says Sanandam Devatabhihi. A beautiful description of Tripura. So how different people are doing different things. Sanandam Devatabhihi. The entire Devata Gana, they are all extremely happy. Okay. Mayapuradahane Dhurjatihi Patayushman. Mayapuradahane Yaha Dhurjatihi Evam Drishtaha Saha Yushman Patu. Okay. So this is how the description goes. A nice description of Tripura Samhara by Bhattanarayana. Okay. Now we will come back to this verse. Tripura Haramadyam Tripura Haram. Okay. Then Adyam. Adyam means, so he can be conceived to be the first person. First person here one can very easily understand even with respect to his Vidya. So it's Vashiva Samarambham. He is Adya Guru. Okay. Tripura Haramadyam Trinayanam. Trinayanam or Trinayanam? Na will there? No. Ramena? No. Why?
Because na is here before that.
Before that?
Na. Tavargiya one letter.
Rasho no naha samana pade. Rashabhyam no naha. Rashabhyam no. Rashabhyam no naha samana pade. Samana pade means only if it is in the same word. Here 3 is different and Nayana is different. You understand? Tamena, Vishayina. They are all, it is in the same word and the suffix. So here it is different. Anyway, Trinayanam, the one who has 3 eyes. Adyam Trinayanam. Then we have the description Jata Bharodaram. This Jata Bharodaram, I was just thinking, this can be understood in 2 different ways at least. Jata refers to matted hair, right? So that becomes sort of matted on its own. In fact, the description will be Tapasvinam Shikha or Vratinam Shikha. So the way it is kept. So this is what is Jata. Now Jata Bharodaram. The word Udara also has several connotations. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita we have this, no? Udara sarvaye vaite jnani tvatmaiva me matam. So there Udaraha means Shreshtaha. Udaraha sarvaye vaite jnani tvatmaiva me matam. Udaraha means Shreshtaha, Utkrishtaha. Okay? This is one meaning of Udara. In common parlance, in other languages also, Udara Chitta, suppose you say, okay, very generous. See, generosity is also referred by that. So Udaraha means Data. Data is also referred by the word Udara. So the connotation here, Tripura Haram, Adyam Trinayanam, Jata Bharodaram. Jata Bharena Udaraha. Udaraha also used in the sense of asadharana. Okay, someone who is exceptional. Generally, the sense is, if you want to capture this, there are various ways in which he can be, but the general connotation will be Mahan, Utkrishta, Mahan Purusha. So by Dhatritvam he can be Mahan. By performing something which is exceptional, he can be a Mahan. Now, Jatabharodaram. So this Jatayaha Bharaha, Jatabharaha, Tena Udaraha, you can say. So Jatabharodaram, so generally one has a certain reverence towards, okay, those who have put this matted hair and doing tapasya. So there is a reverence that gets developed even at the sight of those people who are engaged in this, right? So by the mere look itself, you can think of Jatabharena Udaraha. Okay, this is one level of. The other level one can think is, so Jatabharena Udaraha. So you think of the Ganga coming down. Okay. And this Shiva held it in his head. Okay. Otherwise, it would have been impossible. So the entire thing would have been washed away. So water falling from such a force. So there one can think of the asadharana karya that he has done, and thereby saving the earth. Jata bharodaram. By bearing the water of the Ganga, the force of the Ganga in his hair. Tena udaraha. Jata bharodaram. Then we have the simple phrase Chaladuragaharam Mrigadharam. Uraga is Kutaha Urasa Gachati Uraga. Okay, that which moves through its chest kind of a thing. Uraga. Chaladuragaharam means, so the one who has garland as the serpent which is swinging. Okay. So for whom the swinging serpent is the garland. Chaladuragaharam Mrigadharam. Mrigadhara is very simple. Okay. So in some of the photos you can find, so Shiva having this Mriga in his Mrigadharam. Okay. Mrigadharaha is also used to refer to Chandra. Okay. So Mrigadhara. So there that Mriga is Shasha. Okay. So Shashidhara will be Shiva. Shashadhara will be Chandra. Okay. So Chaladuragaharam Mrigadharam Mahadevam Devam. So why is he using this? Mahadevam and then Devam. See? Mahadevam. See? So Mahadevam is, you can just think of the supreme among the Devas. Okay? Supreme among the Devas. But then the word Deva itself has various meanings. If you look at Dhatu Patha, that is something which is very interesting. It is 10 meanings are there. It is good to know that. So, Divadigana is first Dhatu. Okay. I will list that, you repeat. Okay. Divuk Krida Vijigisha. Divuk Krida Vijigisha. Divuk Krida Vijigisha. Vyavahara Dyutistuti. Vyavahara Dyutistuti. Vyavahara Dyutistuti. Modamadaswapna Kanti Gatishu. Modamadaswapna Kanti Gatishu. Modamadasvapnakantigatishu. This is the Dhatu Patha. So, Krida, Vijigisha. So, these people, the Devas, engage in this, and therefore, so from any of these viewpoints, one can understand this word, and therefore it has been nicely listed. So in different senses also it has been employed in various places, and therefore it is all clubbed together in this Dhatu Patha. See, Krida, Vijigisha, Vyavahara, Dyuti, Stuti. Normally the word Dyuti is chosen. Dyuti means something which is glowing, shining, and so on. See, Dyuti, Stuti, Moda, Madas, Swapna, Kanti, Gatishu. See, Moda, Madas, Swapna, Kanti, Gatishu. So there are different senses in which this word can be understood. Here one can simply take it as Dyutiman, or one can take it as Krida, so whatever it is. Okay, so there are 63 Nayanmar, there are various Leelas, so various things are there in Tamil literature also. So Devaha Mahadevam Devam, and then he says Mayi Sadaya Bhavam. He may be Deva, he may be playing with other people, but as far as I am concerned, Mayi Sadaya Bhavam, so the one who has a greatly compassionate heart, as far as I am concerned. Mayi Sadaya Bhavam Pashupatim Chidalambam Sambam. Chidalamba means, Alamba is that which holds, what is called Alamba. So Chidalamba means, so the one who is the source of Jnana. Okay. Chidalambam. Chit, Jnanam, Jnanam. See, Chit means Jnana. That's why we have even this phrase, the sloka, famous sloka. Arogyam Bhaskaradichhet. See, Shremichhet Janardanat, Jnanam Maheshwaradichhet. Arogyam Bhaskaradichhet, Shremichhet Hudasanat, Jnanam Maheshwaradichhet, Mokshamichhet Janardanat. Mokshamichhet Janardanat. So there was, my father was once saying that he went to some sabha. So in that context, so this was a debate between Madhvas and our Advaitins. This Madhvas, apparently, they said, so when this verse was said, my father was quoting this verse, that's what he told me. And then they said, Moksha Michhe Janardana. If you want moksha, you have to come to Janardana, they said. So my father then said, see the previous quarter, Jnanam Maheshwaradichhet. Without Jnana, moksha is not going to be obtained. And there is no other go for Janardana but to give moksha once our Shiva gives Jnana. Okay, so who is great? Anyway, this is fun. Okay, Jnanam Maheshwaradichhet, Moksha Vichhet Janardana. Okay, so Chidalambam Sambam. See, Sambam means Ambaya Saha Vartate, Umaya Saha Vartate iti Samba. Chidalambam Sambam Shivamati Vidambam Hridi Bhaje. Ati Vidambam Shivam Hridi Bhaje. See, Ati Vidambam is a beautiful usage. Vidamba is there, it is used in two senses. You have to understand this. Vidambanam. Vidambanam means one is Anukaranam, the other is Bhranti Jananam. There are two meanings in which you will find the word Vidambanam used. So Anukaranam is enacting. That is how we have to understand the phrase Anukaranam. So anukaranam is, so you can think of in the dance, the Shiva, he is doing anukarana. So enacting certain things. Dance is basically you try to enact something, right? So you try to depict something by a certain form of art. So Atividambam means, so he is someone who is supreme in enacting. Okay. Shivam Atividambam. This is one way in which you can understand. The other sense also one can understand. I don't know how many of you may be familiar with. There is one Akhyayika. The Pittukku Man Sumandavan. Okay. So in Madurai, he is supposed to have done various plays. One of them is, see, so he will be whipped and everyone will receive the whip. Understand? So there is a certain episode. So there, Atividambam. In another third sense you can take is, see, so Brahmajanakaha is what I was telling you. So Brahmajanakatvam has to be there if you want to punish also someone. Okay? So this Brahmajanakatvenapi, and Ishvara after all, he is Phaladata. It is based on what you have done, you have to be blessed with. If you have done papa, then you are going to suffer. He is just a Phaladata. Phalamata upapatte is the sutra. So therefore, he does not have any sort of pakshapata. So Atividambam means, so those who deserve punishment, so he will create a certain Brahma in their mind, and thereby, so they will receive their own fruits of the actions. Okay, so in that sense also you can conceive Parameshwara to be Atividamba, in the sense of being, see, we had this, no, Kalabhyam, right, first phrase. So it is an embodiment of Anukarana. So after that only the entire dance starts from. Shivamati Vidambam Hridi Bhaje. Hridi Bhaje means I contemplate that entity upon my heart. Okay, in my heart. That is what this verse is. Read this. Traivedyam Hridyam Tripuraharamadyam Trinayanam Jata Bharodaram Chaladuragaharam Mrigadharam Mahadevam Devam Mai Sadaya Bhavam Pasupatim Sidanambam Sambam Shivamatividambam Hriti Bhaje. Okay, we'll stop here. Om Sarve Sukhina Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet.